Deep breath. Breathing deeply. We lose all thought. A deep breath becomes the signal to clear the mind. Being still. Breathing deeply. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth with the sacred sound of ah. Return home to the infinite field of all possibilities. Source. In God we live and move and breathe and have our very existence. Breathing deeply, employ the diaphragm to clear the old air out of the bottom of the lungs with a full-on exhale. Continue exhaling until you cannot exhale any longer. Deep breath in, long exhale. Employ the diaphragm. Deep breath in, and on the exhale, squeeze the yoni, tighten the yoni or the groin. Tighten and pump the air out. Tighten the yoni or the groin with the belly as you squeeze out all the air. Deep breath in, fill up like a balloon. Exhale. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Squeeze all the air out. Deep breath in. Release with an ah. Cascading breath up and down. Gently. Belly expanding. No high chest breathing. Belly expanding and contracting with each breath. Deeper still. Now we will do the square breath. Breathe in for 4. Hold for 4. Out for 4. And rest. Breathe in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deep breath in. At your own count, deep breath in to 4. Hold for 4. Release for 4. Recalibrating the nervous system and introducing the beautiful hormones in the body, serotonin, Anandamid, and we began. And again, next square breath with intention. See the geometric shape of a square before you. As you inhale, you go up the square on the left side. As you hold your breath, you go across the square at the top. As you release your breath, you go down the square on the right. And as you rest at the bottom, you are inhabiting the bottom of the square. Begin. And again. Learning to make breaths even. We inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then rest at the bottom of the square again. Become aware of the space between breaths at the bottom of the square. There is a pause before inhaling. There's a natural pause in breath when there is no inhale or exhale. Inhale and exhale is not continuous. There is a pause in normal breathing. Achieve this intentionally. A mastery of self with the breath. Square breath again. In for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, and pause and rest at the bottom of the square. Up the left side of the square. This helps to introduce order into the subconscious mind. Perfect order, perfect order. Again with the square breath. Up the left side of the square for a count of 4 with the inhale. Hold the breath for 4. Exhale for 4. If at any time you become dizzy or uncomfortable, simply go back to normal deep breathing. We begin. In the pause is the nothingness, the return to the quantum field, source. And our mantra this morning is Om, also known as Aum. Pronounce it as desired for maximum effect. Your God self knows what to do. Deep breath. Release with an ah. And if you can coordinate Kegels with your chanting, even better. And we begin at your own pace and your own rhythm. feel, know, experience that all of the molecules in the water in your body are happy. All the atoms are happy. All the cells are happy. Deep breath. Image in the mind, perfection in every area of your life's affairs, perfection in health, youth, vitality, sexiness, optimum energy, aging backwards. Image in the mind, perfect financial order. Everything's paid off easily, effortlessly, abundantly, luxuriously. Wealth comes easily. Generosity goes forth easily in a big circuit. Give and receive are one. Image your perfect love life and relationships. Image beautiful people. Image free people. Image happy souls. All the people in your life. Image your perfect creative expression, your destiny being fulfilled in adventurous, wonderful ways, learning and growing, morphing every day. And it is fun to fulfill one's purpose. Challenges are met with confidence, deep breath, and image the four square of life as brought to us by Florence Scovel Shen, The Game of Life and How to Play It. Breathe and see this square before you. Each quadrant happy, thriving, perfected according to divine mind. And now, own the square and see it glow with golden light. This is the Om of your life. Deep breath in and Om your square. Smile that your square is glowing. And at the center point of the square is a great light. On this next Om, you will enter the light at the center of this great square. Breathe in. And Om and enter the light. Enter your perfected life now. Now, this life is around you. Perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect relationship, perfect purpose fulfilled. Divine perfection saturates, infuses, subsumes your entire existence. We live and breathe and move and have our being in. God, breathe. Smile, and now that you know you are in your perfect life, as you begin to open your eyes and prepare for seeing, experiencing, feeling the third dimension, always stay in dimensions beyond and rule your life from higher dimensions. When you are ready, look down, slowly raise your gaze, and bring an aspect of your awareness to the third dimension, also known as the time-space continuum. Slowly, gently, lovingly. And now stretch both arms overhead, clasp your hands, straighten your elbows, and point your index fingers. Will look like hands in prayer. Release the index fingers and shoot them straight into the air over your head, stretching up your spine. Stretch it up, stretch it up, stretch it up, opening the eyes, fully integrated into the body. No wafting around on other dimensions while the body is bumbling around on the third dimension. Be fully present on all levels of consciousness. Yes. Today, our Course in Miracles lesson is lesson 45. God is the mind with which I think. Let's affirm it together. God is the mind with which I think. Again, God is the mind with which I think. Happy Love Day to you if you celebrate Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day to you. And for probably many around the globe, every day is Love Day. Today's idea holds the key to what your real thoughts are. Remember the premise of the course? Nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So here we are understanding the key to what our real thoughts are. They are nothing that you think you think. Your real thoughts are nothing that you think you think. Just as nothing that you think you see is related to vision in any way. So we have completely washed away everything we think, everything we think we see. Remember, perception and vision are two different things. What we're perceiving is not reality. There's no relationship between what is real and what you think is real. There's no relationship. There's no relationship to the fantasies we've made up in our minds about self and others and the real world. There's no relationship. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts. Nothing that you think are your real thoughts resemble your real thoughts in any respect. Nothing that I think are my real thoughts even actually resemble my real thoughts in any aspect or respect. Nothing I think is my real thought. They're not even related. Nothing you think you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you. All the things I think I see in the world and in myself and in the mirror and in other people. Nothing I think I see. Notice it, nothing you think you see bears any resemblance to what vision will show you. Vision is what we are now opening fully to vision. You think with the mind of God. Therefore, you share your thoughts with him. as he shares his with you. You think with the mind of God. Literally, what we are using to think with is the mind of source. They are the same thoughts because they are thought by the same mind. Harmony, the mind of God must have harmony. It's capital M, all is mind. Even the ancient Egyptians and Kemet told us this. The number one thing they told us is the universe is mental, all is mind. Law of mentalism, all is mind. And here we see the same thing again in the source, stated differently, same thing. To share is to make alike or to make one, because we share these thoughts with God. We are one with God. Nor to the thoughts you think with the mind of God leave your mind, because thoughts do not leave their source. Thoughts do not leave their source. That means all the thoughts that I'm thinking with God don't leave. They're not coming and going. Therefore, your thoughts are in the mind of God as you are. It says it in the Bible as well, that I live and breathe and move and have my very being, my very existence in God. In God. God in whom I live and breathe and move and have my very being. Saying the same thing. Therefore, your thoughts are in the mind of God as you are. Our thoughts are in the mind of God, and I'm in the mind of God, and you're in the mind of God, and everyone's in the mind of God. The thoughts of the mind of God are in your mind as well. Where he is, God is in your mind. As you are part of his mind, so are your thoughts part of his mind. Basically, we can't say it any more differently. It's many different ways that it's said to you and to us. It's said, your real thoughts are the thoughts of God, because your mind is the mind of God. Real thoughts in the mind of God exist both. Well, there is no both. Thank you, Spirit. In one mind, because it's shared. Therefore, it is one. Where then are your real thoughts? Today, we will attempt to reach them. We will have to look for them in your mind, because that is where they are. Real thoughts are in the mind of God, which is my mind as well. They must still be there, because they cannot have left their source. What is thought by the mind of God is eternal, being apart from creation. What is thought in the mind of God is eternal. It doesn't come and go. It doesn't wax and wane. These are the eternal thoughts of God. This is my mind, because my mind is the mind of God. And God is the mind with which I think. God is the mind with which I think. Tell it to yourself. Our 3 5-minute practice periods for today will take the same general form that we used in applying yesterday's idea. We will attempt to leave the unreal and seek for the real. We will deny the world in favor of truth. We will not let the thoughts of the world hold us back. Remember yesterday we were told that you can't be held back. You can't be stopped. We will not let the beliefs of the world tell us that what God would have us do is impossible. God is simply asking us to return home like the prodigal son. Instead, we will try to recognize that only what God would have us do is possible. That's really the only real possibility. That's the only thing that is quite possible for us and quite natural for us, as we heard yesterday in the course, is to return home to the mind of God. Plus, it feels good. We will also try to understand that only what God would have us do is what we want to do. Boom! There is no big man in the sky telling you what to do. Put that away. That is a kindergarten Santa Claus thought. Big man in the sky, I gotta please him. Otherwise, he's gonna damn me. Put these away. They're hurting you and other people. We will also try to understand that only what God would have us do is what we want to do. We were born and bred and raised and reared and brainwashed into thinking you had to give up your will to please some being that you never saw, and you have to please this being, and it's a him, and if you don't please him, it's toast for you. You're toast. Throw it in the trash. What God would have you do is what you really want to do. The will is one and the same. When I discovered that a long time ago, I was so much more happier because I was contorting myself and giving up all my worldly pleasures and all the things I really wanted to do to please this great being. And somehow I was going to get some fabulous reward for all this self-denial and never having any fun. Well, a little bit of fun you could have. But don't get carried away with your fun. Because, hey, you step on the big dude's toes, you are in trouble. It's not going to go well for you. Stop it. It's a story that served us for a minute. It served us for a minute until we touched God and actually saw, oh, then you no longer need fables when you're actually in the mind of God and you actually are home. And we will also try to remember that we cannot fail in doing what he would have us do. You can't fail. You can't fail in your true will. This is what Aleister Crowley was talking about when he said, do as ye will. He said that magic is causing change in conformity with the will. And people thought will meant, I will do whatever you feel like doing. And if you go deeper and deeper into Aleister Crowley's work, you understand Aleister Crowley wasn't talking about that at all. Aleister Crowley was probably one of the most devotional men in the world, yet he called himself 666 so he could just keep at bay all the, I'm going to say what's coming to me, all the dumbasses that can't figure out things or are not ready for magic or would be harmed if they got this information or would harm somebody else if they got this information. So he just said 666 and people are like, oh my God, you're the devil. Let me get away. Good. Now that we've dispersed the people that don't need to be here, let's get down to the real thing. And the real thing is the will. And what did Aleister Crowley, one of the greatest magicians ever, talk about? What did he mean when he said will? The divine will, the true unction of your soul, the upward call. There's a compelling, if you can feel the energy of what it is that you most want to do. And that's what the universe most wants you to do. It's one and the same. Like, I want to do this and the universe wants me to do this. Lovely. And that is the bliss. Well, the bliss is even in there if you don't do anything at all. And the bliss and the beauty unfolds greater and greater, even greater. Now, if you do nothing, you'll be in bliss as well. You sit and meditate, you'll be in bliss. You'll be a mystic and you can live in the woods and not worry about work or food or anything or money or anything. You can live that kind of life. If you don't want to live the monastic life, then, and you want to live a life in the world and being with people and things like that, then you would probably need to have some money. So you may come out of your meditation to bring service to humanity and exchange energy. You may engage in energy exchanges, joyful energy exchanges, where you bring your gifts to the world and the world brings you receive the gifts of the world. Give and receive, one circular motion. So what are we hearing here? What we're hearing here is your purpose, your destiny is the will of God, and it's what you really want to do. It's one and the same because we're in the mind of God. How shocking is that? And how counter to what we were told. We were told you have to please the will of something up there. You have to deny yourself and please something up there. And I tell you, when I was a little girl and they used to keep pointing up at heaven and telling me God was in heaven, I swear to you, I was looking for even his toe. I would go outside and I would be looking up in the sky. Maybe I'll catch a glimpse of this invisible, faraway being. Do you see how damaging that can be to your true self? Your true self is holy. Your true self, God is right where you are. Source is right where you are. It can't be any other way. There's no separation. There's no God in the sky, you down here. Yet we got that story for maybe decades. So if you got that story maybe for decades, you've got to reorient your mind to the truth, return home to source. There's every reason to feel confident that we will succeed today as the will of God, which means it's your will. We have every reason to know that we will succeed. And when I say God, I'm not talking about a person. You see, the word God is so loaded. When you say the word God, it has a whole lot of stuff on it, and a lot of stuff came from other people. So when I say the word God, to me, it's not a person. So you've got to work that out for yourself through integration, meditation, and direct revelation. What is God? It's a what, not a who. Begin the exercises for today by repeating the idea to yourself. God is the mind with which I think. Closing your eyes as you do so. Then spend a fairly short period in thinking a few relevant thoughts of your own, keeping the idea in mind. After you have added some 4 or 5 thoughts of your own to the idea, repeat it again and tell yourself gently, my real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. So what are we going to do during these practice periods? We're going to do 3 practice periods today. We always do the first one together. The second practice period you can do at any time that is amenable. The third practice period we usually do at night as we fall asleep. During the exercises, as the course states in the instructions, that we're going to begin the exercises by repeating the idea to ourselves, closing our eyes as we do. Then we're going to spend a fairly short period in thinking a few relative thoughts of your own. God is the mind with which I think, and the thoughts I think with God. That's a related thought. God is the mind with which I think, and the thoughts of God have never lost its source, have never left its source. That must mean the thoughts of God are in my mind. After we've done that, then we repeat it to ourselves. My real thoughts are in my mind. I would like to find them. Then try to go past all the unreal thoughts. Got to do this, got to go there. They said this, they said that, or this about that, and that. Go past all the unreal thoughts that cover the truth in your mind. They're a blanket. You're flipping back the blanket and reach to the eternal. The eternal is in your mind. The eternal is in your mind. The eternal is in your mind because God is your mind. And God is the mind with which I think. So the eternal is in my mind. Tell yourself that frequently. Under all the senseless thoughts and mad ideas with which you have cluttered up your mind, under all my senseless thoughts and mad ideas that I've cluttered my mind with, are the thoughts that you thought with God in the beginning. Underneath, they never left. They're sitting right there, but I put a whole bunch of stuff on top of it. They're there in your mind now, completely unchanged. They will always be in your mind exactly as they always were. They're eternal. You're eternal. We're in the mind of God now. We are in the mind of God. Everything you have thought since then will change, but the foundation on which it rests is wholly changeless. It is this foundation toward which the exercises for today are directed. They are directed at the foundation, the ground of all being within self. Here is your mind joined with the mind of God. Here I realize I am one with all, as the quantum physicists have taught us. They've said it. The Bible has said it. All the holy books say it. Christ said it. I and the Father are one, just as you and I are one. There's one here, one big field in which we are all living, breathing, moving, having our very existence, our very being. That's where we're reaching. We're reaching past all the cluttered in the mind. Just go past the furniture. Just, okay, I can look at you later. Go past all the thoughts. I'm going to the eternal, to the changeless, pure awareness. For this kind of practice, only one thing is necessary. Approach it as you would an altar dedicated in heaven to God the Father and to God the Son. Remember, it says God the Father and God the Son. You're the Son. God the Father, we are the created. God the Father and God the Son. There's no distinction. If you want to say it another way, Goddess the mother and Goddess the daughter. However you want to say it, it's the same energetically, however you'd like to say it. For such is the place you are trying to reach. It is an altar. So when we go in to our minds, going past smoke and mirrors, all the thoughts we've made up, going past all of that, as we go further and deeper into our mind, we know that we are looking for the eternal and the changeless. We're just returning to our true source. We cannot fail in this. We cannot be stopped in this. We must be successful, and that there is a way to do this. And the way to do it is as if we are approaching an altar in heaven dedicated to God the Father and to God the Son. You are not giving veneration and adoration to some sky god. You are approaching the altar in your own mind. It's telling you heaven is in your mind, in your own mind. An altar that is dedicated to God the Father and God the Son, the one God, the one source. Source is this person, source is that person, source as each of us. For such is the place you are trying to reach. You are reaching an altar in heaven. This is a way of saying that you are very holy. You will probably be unable as yet to realize how high you are trying to go. You're going high in your mind. This is all happening in your mind. It's not you going to a church and praying and yay, praising. That's lovely. I never met a church I didn't love. I never met a temple I didn't like. Been around temples, been to temples all over the world. They're beautiful. They're lovely. Been to churches all over. They're beautiful. They're lovely. We're going past that. There's something further. You see, the churches and the temples, they're pointers. They're maps. Everything's a map. So who would be happy sitting there with a treasure map and say, I've got a treasure map? But do you have the treasure? Today you get the treasure. Yet even with the little understanding you have already gained from day 44, 45, you should be able to remind yourself that this is no idle game, but an exercise in holiness and an attempt to reach the kingdom of heaven. Christ said it, the kingdom of heaven is within you. That's what we're touching today. We're touching the kingdom of heaven in every one of our exercises. And throughout the day, today we are touching the kingdom of heaven. Now, you could call it different things if you want to, because the kingdom of heaven doesn't care what you call it. You could call it the quantum field. You could call it the 0 point. You could call it the all, the infinitude. In the shorter exercise periods for today, try to remember how important it is to you to understand the holiness of the mind that thinks with God. You have got to understand how holy your mind is, beloved. Your mind is very holy, filled with light. But we have told ourselves, I'm unworthy, I'm guilty, I'm shameful, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done that. Oh my goodness, am I ever going to make it? I keep failing, I'm not succeeding. Blah, blah, blah. It's trash. You're going past all those thoughts today. I'm not good enough. They did more than me. Comparison. You're going past all those thoughts today. You're going past them because they're not real. You're going to your true altar within the truth. Take a minute or two. Let me say this again. In the shorter exercise periods for today, try to remember how important it is to you to understand the holiness of the mind that thinks with God. We must understand how holy our minds are. It's important. Really, for me, it's the only important thing to remember is divinity. Take a minute or two as you repeat the idea throughout the day to appreciate your mind's holiness. Your mind must be holy because your mind is one with God. It has to be holy. God doesn't know anything other than holiness. Your mind has to be holy. Stand aside, however, briefly From all thoughts that are unworthy of him whose host you are. Stand aside. Oh, I see a thought that's saying that this is hard for me. I'm confused. I don't know how to do it. This is why is it taking so long? I'm trying to build this empire, and people are not cooperating with me. How come I can't get support? Oh, I don't have enough money to invest into this thing that I want to do. Stand aside from those thoughts. Just tell yourself, stand down. Take a knee, soldier. Take a knee. And remember your holiness. While you look at those thoughts, remember your holiness while you look at the thoughts. These thoughts, and just tell yourself, these thoughts are unworthy of source, of whose I am a host. I'm a temple of the living God. These thoughts are unworthy of who and what I am. And thank him for the thoughts he is thinking with you. And I give thanks, I give appreciation for the real thoughts that I think with my source, my creator, that have never changed and never left. They were there all along, even as I was being crazy. We will do our first exercise now. That is, of course, Miracles, Lesson 45. God is mind with which I think. Let us set our chimes for 5 minutes. And we are ready to begin. God is the mind with which I think. Our chimes have rung, indicating that we have completed our first exercise of three for the day. We conclude with the thought, the idea for today. God is the mind with which I think. Deep breath in, release with an ah. The floor is open. Good morning.
This lesson right here, God is the mind in which I think.
That's right here. That's right.
Honestly, my scientific mind dissected this thing because I had to get it. And so I said, piece by piece, first and foremost, this lesson says this is the key to what my real thoughts are. So I learned in the previous lesson that my thoughts are unreal, they're attacking, they're decrepit, they're horrible, they have created a vengeful world. Those were the thoughts that I was having. But my real thoughts are the thoughts in which I think with God. So right now I only think I think. You know, what I'm thinking of, I only think I think. So the other thing I thought about is, okay, so there is no relationship, no correlation, no association, no nothing between what is real and what I think is real. So I can put all of that aside. What I'm thinking is not real at all. I'm not even thinking. I'm just regurgitating, remembering the same old thoughts. So I think with the mind of God. Sidebar, my thoughts are godly. And so this lesson to me is about identity, not so much who I am, but what I am in relation to God, all is mine. As above, so below. My thoughts are in the mind of God, and so I am. So am I. So if I'm in the thoughts of God, God is in me. As above, so below. I am with God. Those are my real thoughts. So recognizing that my thoughts with God are the only ones that are real, I would like to find them among all the crazy thoughts I can set aside and say, these thoughts I've had with God never left its source. And in between or wrapped around these real thoughts are the thoughts that need to be cleared away. So this lesson does that for me very precisely. Now I understand when I say all is mine, I'm thinking of the mind of God, the mind of the all. And in that case, I understand my relationship to the all. I am in the all, and the all is in me. And that really saves me from going down the road of thinking, because my thoughts are godly. Therefore, I'm godly. And this part, I wrote big: identity, not who I am, but what I am. Blessed Son of God. Mm-hmm. This is a relationship lesson for me, and that's how I took it. So, everyone, if you are ready to discuss this lesson, God is the mind in which I think, you're invited to the stage, and you can discuss this. For me, it's relationship. It tells me who I am, what I am in the mind of God. And I am complete for now, so I'm opening up. Everyone, come up. Taya is on the stage, and if you're interested, come right up and discuss this lesson with us today. Good morning, Rev.
Good morning. You know what came to me? First of all, I've got to give a shout out to all of our incredible love tubers. Love tubers, love tubers, love tubers. I love you. Love tubers. I'm getting my hair cut as soon as I land in Miami. OMG. I fly to Miami this week to get ready for our event next week. And I tell you, I have just been working with this hair and it has been doing something. And I'm like, okay, when I get to Miami, we gonna get you all the way together, boo. We gonna get you all the way together. So first, shout out to everyone, all the love tubers, all the love tubers, all the love tubers. Okay, in my Beyonce voice, all the love tubers, all the love tubers, all the love tubers, put your hands up. Excuse me, I had a Beyonce moment there. All right, now, love tubers on the Valerie Love YouTube channel and also on the Christian Witches YouTube channel. Smash up the likes. Smash up the likes. If you're on Facebook, same thing. Engage, engage, engage with this material. Engage. Leave your comments. Remember, the goal is not millions of followers. We're creating masters around here. The goal is billions of engagers. We engage. We're doing the work. We're commenting, we're sharing, we're participating, we're active. We're not passively consuming content, we're active. We're engaged in this global movement of love and peace and beauty and creativity and bliss, and remembering that we are holy, meaning whole, divine. Okay? I'm glowing up. Thank you so much. Mwah. Love you, love you, love you,
Can I
love you,
say
love you.
that if you're in the clubhouse group in the lower left-hand corner, the little the arrows in the lower left-hand corner, that's the equivalent of hitting share or say or like. So when you hit that button right now, it says 5. So thank you to the 5 people who shared it. But if you didn't know, if you hit that button, that's the equivalent of sharing it, and it shares it to the hallway. You can write a comment when you hit that share button, and that also brings more people into the room because you're sharing it to the hallway. So if you're in Clubhouse, that's the equivalent as if you were on YouTube hitting the like button or on Facebook hitting like or share. Thanks, Harmony. I just did it. Awesome.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know that. Let me do it now. Let me share. I love sharing. Share on Clubhouse. Ooh, hop in here with us. That's what I'm going to say. Hop in here. I have a message for us. This is going to be delicious. Hold on. I had to put a couple emojis on there. Okay, I have a message for us. Ooh, you share this room on Clubhouse. You can also share on Twitter, Facebook, family, share, 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 share. I have a message for us. Thank you, Lola Falana. You know what I realize about my hair and what I know about witches. Let's see, witches have hair that is not going to obey. A witch's hair, that's one of the ways, that's one of the in my book 13 Signs You're a Witch, that's one of the signs of a witch. That witches have hair that is willful. In other words, it is its own entity. And sometimes it listens to the witch and sometimes it doesn't. And witches are just like whatever hair. You know, it'll have something, you get everything all smoothed down or whatever. And then you have one that goes boing or just whatever. When I stopped fighting with my hair, it was beautiful because see, it's a crown and it's antennas, right? So your hair is picking up things. So I stopped fighting with my hair. When I stopped fighting with my hair, it was just lovely. It was lovely. I'm like, oh, you want to stand up? Okay, stand up. Oh, you want to part wants to go over that way and part wants to go that way? Okay. Okay. Be my guest. I'm here for you. All right. Now, does anyone know what I'm talking about with the hair situation? I have a message for us. And before I go into the message, I'm first going to say, if you are not yet registered for the Christian Witches Convention or for 222 Quantum Manifestation or for Never Work Again or for Dubai, you can't quite register yet for Cappadocia, Turkey in June because we haven't put up the page for that yet. It will be going up soon. If you are registered for Quantum Activation in Miami on 222 and Never Work Again in Miami on 222 through 2226 through February 26th. We start Never Work Again at Quantum Manifestation. So if you register for Never Work Again, where I go deep into passive income streams that I have, what I teach also to our Ascension members, and the incredible results that we're getting with passive income strategies, NFTs, DeFi projects, flag theory. Flag theory is more of 4-hour work week. earning money in dollars and living on pesos, earning money in dollars and living on rupiah, which was what they have in Bali, earning money in dollars and spending them or living on whatever the Thailand dollar is, where you go to Thailand and get a cute apartment for $250 a month, something like that. Flag theory is critical that you employ that flag theory. How to get paid in Bitcoin, all of that is going to be at Never Work Again. The group coming to Never Work Again is incredible. Coach Michelle will be there. Zaire will be there. We have Queen Hadassah will be there. We have an incredible group coming with us to Never Work Again. So if you register for Never Work Again, 222 is included because we all start off 222. The whole event starts off with 222 on February 22nd at 9 a.m. sharp. And you've already received the email and you know the location where you are being picked up at 8:30 a.m. Now, let me say something to you. If you sleep late, if you miss your flight, if you got lost, you don't know where it is, you're confused, you are going to have a powerful learning experience. That's what I'll call it. You're going to have some powerful learning. And here's why. Here's the message. So that's where you're going to find the information for 222, and that's where you're also going to find Dubai, Quantum Leap Dubai. Now, for the Christian Witches Convention, register at christianwitches.com. Am I on screen share? Yes, I'm on screen share. Register at christianwitches.com where you can still get tickets on sale. Tickets on sale now at the Christian Witches Convention. And so many people buying those tickets up. So many people buying these tickets up. The tickets are still pay what you like. That is going away very soon, and soon you will see the real price of the Christian Witches Convention, which will be a whole lot more than $50. So right now it's pay what you like as long as it's over $50. It could be 51, it could be 5,000, it could be 500, it could be anything you want for a limited time only. So here's where I want to end. So I wanted to give us that update. And Money in the Vortex! Rainbow Healing Goddess of Rituals. Money in the Vortex, Money in the Vortex, Money in the Vortex. I'm getting a bell, I promise. I promise I'm getting a bell. Here is will you host Zoom classes? I'm able to attend in person. Oh, Lola Falana. That is an excellent question. No Zoom. This is in-person learning. This is in person. So I want to say something about our whole community. This is a traveling community. If I were in person right now with all of you all, that would be the ideal. Not YouTube, not Facebook, not Zoom, not Clubhouse, nothing. There would be no tech in the room. There would simply be a huge room with all of us in the room with actually no technology in the room at all. So technology is a substitute that we use to our purposes to forward the work, to come into the room. The magic happens in the room. Wait till you get there and see. Anyone can tell you from all the events, the magic happens the second you register, even before you register. When you see it, you're like, oh, I know I'm called to that, but who's gonna watch your kids? You see, the event has already started, working on you. Then, because we go all over the world, Dubai and Salem and Sedona and Peru and all of the magnificent places all over the world, and soon to India and these wonderful, wonderful big places all over the world, spiritually charged hot spots. Because we go around to all these places, there will be a tremendous amount of resistance. Let's talk about that now, because that's the message that I got. Everyone register for 222 who's coming. An incredible, incredible group is coming to 222. Incredible. Make sure you text us, follow the instructions that we sent you. make sure you get in the Telegram, the Soul Excursions Telegram group. Now, here's the message. Watch out for resistance. Watch out for it. Be on high alert starting tomorrow, 1 week from the event. What is resistance? Somebody said they were going to watch the kids, and all of a sudden they said they can't watch the kids. My flight, I messed it up. I got it on the 23rd instead of the 22nd. Oh my goodness, this big emergency thing came up that I have to pay. You see, the same exercise we use today to simply go past all of the unreal thoughts to reach the real thoughts will be the same exercise you will use in your life to go past all the resistance. Resistance is not a question. It will come up. Who has any questions about resistance? Resistance is not a question. It's coming for you. I can hear the feet. Resistance, it's a force of nature, as we learned. And the most that I've learned about resistance is from the incredible author of The Legend of Bagger Vance, Do the Work, The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield. So we're going to go back to Stephen Pressfield again because we got to listen to it over and over and over and over again to really get it. Resistance is coming for you. If you think it's not, let me tell you, I am so tooled up for when my resistance comes, because otherwise resistance will have an untoward, undesirable effect. Talk to me about resistance. Who knows what I'm talking about? Who knows what we're talking about with regard to resistance? Every time you get ready to do something great, every time you are preparing yourself to move to the next level, every time you prepare yourself to take a step out your comfort zone, every time you get ready to get on an airplane to go and do something that you know you've never done before, something that you are right for doing, something that's going to change your life, resistance, 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 which is good because it gives you the opportunity to exercise your muscles, to stay focused, to call up to yourself in the moment all the lessons that we've had. Well, God is mine with which I think, so therefore I'm going to go past these thoughts of resistance to my real thoughts. Oh, God is my source. I cannot see apart from him. Okay, I think I must be making this up because I don't know what anything is for. I say that a lot to myself. Oh, I don't know what anything is for, so I'm just going to keep going. No matter what comes up, keep going. Keep going to Miami. Just start walking and be singular of mind. Singular of mind. I'm going to the event. I'm going to the retreat. I'm going to be talking about resistance, and I'm going to put you all on the altar because I heard in spirit realms resistance. And some of them are going to be wobbling around resistance. Now, some of us, we're used to it, and we know when you get on a rocket and you're going to the moon, you go, you already know that you're breaking through your atmosphere. If you can't break through your atmosphere and get to a one-day event in Florida, how are you going to break through your atmosphere and create an empire? You see, they're related. Yes, they're related. All right, talk to us, Harmony.
Well, for me, I don't have, I don't have any resistance when it comes to travel, but I do have a lot of resistance when it comes to what you just said, like building your empire. And it's funny, my biggest resistance as a travel content creator is pitching brands. Now, this is something that shouldn't even bring up so much, you would think. It's something that wouldn't even bring up so much stuff because it's simply sending out an email. Like, how, like, the person on the other end, I don't know they look like. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know anything about the person on the other end, on the receiving end of an email. However, I get so nervous when pushing send, and I was doing that a lot this weekend, sending out pitches, and it just brought something up to me, and I was like, damn, like, I'm really nervous about this. Like, I was having physical reactions to hitting send, and when I just thought about how silly that was, because even if the person didn't read the email or didn't want to work with me or whatever the case may have been, like, why was it bringing up so much for me? So I definitely feel resistance when I'm doing anything that's like for me. I could pitch somebody else for a brand in a heartbeat and not have any resistance on it. But when it comes to pitching myself, I find a lot of resistance. And I was just doing a lot of self-examination of that, and I was speaking with one of my friends, and she's like, but Tay, you have to understand that these brands, they have budgets for this type of stuff, and you're making their life, if you think of it like that, you're making their life easier because you're reaching out to them, that's like you're taking away half of their work. So she's giving me all of the benefits of me hitting send. However, I still had that feeling of resistance. So it's just interesting what we, you're absolutely right. It's always resistance when it comes to something that'll take us to stratospheric levels or take us to exactly where we say we want to go. I'm complete.
We have a question on the live stream on YouTube. Is registration to Never Work Again closed? Registration to Never Work Again is open up until even the 22nd. And why is that? It is open, and registration to 222 Quantum Manifestation event, the one-day event, closes this Friday. You can still register for Never Work Again all the way up to 222, because some of y'all are going to be at 222 and you're not going to want to go home, and you're going to want to be, you're in this high vibration, and you're going to want to stay for the Never Work Again retreat with the rest of us. And if you stay, you only pay the difference between 222 and Never Work Again. Remember, if you're in Never Work Again, if you come to Never Work Again, and if you come to Quantum Manifestation, you're paying less if you are a member of Ascension, or if you're in the Mystery School, if you're in Initiation or Ascension, you pay less. Sometimes it's half price, sometimes it's 10% off, sometimes 20% off. It depends on the venue and many other factors. If you come to 222, you are paying less if you're in Ascension and Initiation. Why? Because people who do the work on an ongoing basis are rewarded because you're in it. Please work your process. And this is one of the most stellar communities to do that in. So Never Work Again is open for you, boo. I mean, if you never want to work again. Now, if you like work and you want to keep working and you don't like passive income and you don't like money working for you while you're sleeping, don't come to Never Work Again. That would just mess up your life. If you like working a lot, you like getting up and working from can't see in the morning and can't see at night, you like your horrible job, you like it, don't come to Never Work Again, because Never Work Again will upset all of that. Who's next?
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day. We got the lovers all year for our card of the day. So yay.
Yes. Good morning. I just wanted to share one of my experiences with resistance, even when I didn't know what resistance was. And you remember this well because I spent the night in the airport.
Yes.
So Bali retreat. I missed my flight. I got to the airport, but actually I flew out of DC, so the airport is actually about 3.5 hours away. I thought I was on time. And I got there and my gate was closed. There was no one there. I didn't know I had to get there 2 hours in advance they board 2 hours in advance for international flights. So to my surprise, the gate was closed. off. So my boo at the time drove me 3.5 hours just to get there, and the gate is closed. Then I refused to leave the airport. I just told him, keep going. I'm going to figure this out, because I was determined that I was going to Bali. I had already said I was going to Bali a year in advance. And I'm there at the airport, and I have no idea. I mean, the airport is empty. There's like no one in the airport. And that's when the tears begin to come. And at that time, we were having the Enlightenment Circle. So I end up sleeping in the airport, trying to think about how I'm going to work this thing out, because I wasn't able to speak to anybody yet because everything is closed. So I have to wait till the morning to even talk to customer service, to get a new ticket. I was just, and this was my second international flight, because I had went to Nigeria the year before. And I'm telling you, you have to just have a hunger and a knowing that what you're doing is the right thing. And I knew that my soul said yes to this, because it said yes to this a year earlier. So I know I'm supposed to be there. It's just a matter of getting there. So that morning I got to work, and there were many tears, please believe me. A grown lady sitting in the airport crying all alone like she's lost. And that morning, once the Enlightenment Circle started at 6 a.m., so we're on the Enlightenment Circle, and, I share my experience with the group, and, the community reassured me that everything was going to be okay, assisted me, and it worked out. I just had to push through. Now, of course, I have some, little fear, definitely some resistance, because I've never been in this kind of experience before. What am I doing here? But I just had this inner knowing that yes was the correct thing. I knew saying yes to my soul was the right thing, and I'm supposed to be doing this, so it's gonna get done. And after speaking to many people, and I ended up on a flight. So I actually stayed in the airport for 24 hours, because that particular flight only left like at 11 p.m. or something. So I literally stayed in the airport for about 26 hours. 26 hours. I was just in, I can't remember if it was BWI or which one it was, but I was there for 26 hours.
Weren't you at Dulles out in Virginia?
Was I at Dulles? I might have been at Dulles.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then, I made it onto the flight. I was just so happy once I got on the flight, because I was like, yeah, okay, this is happening now. There's no turning back. I'm in the seat. And the plane is moving. And then I got a pleasant surprise when I got to Hong Kong, because that's where I met up with Coach. We didn't even know we was going to be meeting there. And we ended up seeing each other in the airport in Hong Kong. And it was great. And once I stepped off the plane at Bali, it was like, okay, when I'm coming back, I haven't even seen anything yet, but this vibration is amazing, and I know I want to come back here. So that was one of my experiences with resistance. I have had others, but that was a major one for me. And what worked out, what made it successful and me beating resistance at its game was just staying focused, staying committed, because at that point I could have told, my friend, just come back and get me. I done missed the flight. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I could have gave up, but I didn't. I was like, I have to be there. I know this is gonna be life-changing for me, and it was, and I have to be there. And there was no question in my mind whether I should go. I knew I was going, and there's no need for you to come back and pick me up, because I'm okay. I'm gonna be okay. And that was my share of resistance. I spent 26 hours in Dulles That's my share.
That's the opportunity to have a meditation. I've had many airport meditations. I'm in the airport. Okay. Let me have an airport meditation. You close your eyes for a minute. People think you're taking a nap or whatever. Doesn't matter, right? Wow. How incredible. How incredible. I also have to say this. I have never seen someone register for a $5,000 event and not be there. That event was $5,000. I've never seen it. Oh, you will push through some resistance. You pay $5,000 for something, oh, you're going to be there. So, because it raises the stakes, and when you pay attention, and the more you pay, the more attention you pay. I've never seen it. I've done many, many, many retreats. Free retreats, well, I don't do that at all. Free retreats, people come, they say they're going to come, they don't come. You know, who would you prioritize anything that's free? Of course not, because you inherently know it doesn't have value. We see, one great secret of magic is that it has to cost you. First, it costs something. You know, all those magic shows where it says magic has a price. Yes, it does. And you have to pay the price first before you get the reward. People are like, no, show me the money first, and then I'll say I'll go. Okay, well, you'll be playing that game for another 20 years until you realize if money stops you, it will always stop you. Nope, I'm not going to let money stop me. I'm going to figure out a way. I'm going to do it. If spirit is telling me to do it, then spirit's got it. Consider it paid. Okay? Consider it paid. Mama Nectar's Love Bites. Reverend Val sent you something. When you get it, let me know. Oh, want to be a brand for the conventions? Oh, beautiful. We have coming up soon brand opportunities to sponsor with the Christian Witches Convention. It will have a comma in it. Yay. I love commas. I love commas. I love commas. So if you are a brand and you desire a opportunity at the Christian Witches Convention to share, because we will have many vendors, you'll be brand sponsors. You will definitely see that information on the website very soon when we come back from Quantum Manifestation and Never Work Again. And when you receive all your details about the Christian Witches Convention, you'll also receive details that if you are a brand and you sell products or you have anything going on, that you can be one of the brands that sponsors the Christian Witches Convention. And you can actually sponsor specific events also at the Christian Witches Convention, which is going to be so fun, like the Matrix Party on Saturday night. All right, I'm so happy Mama Nectar's Love Bites. Get on in here for the Christian Witches Convention. Who's next?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So resistance. Still dealing with it, and these lessons in community are what are getting me through. God is the mind in which I think. I think through God's mind. Like I've been having to say all of these affirmations and lessons every single day, especially yesterday. We said we picked a date, I think a couple days ago, and then yesterday we booked the flight. It's a one-way tickets. And
one-way tickets to Mexico?
Yes, to Cancun.
Welcome to paradise.
Ooh, yeah, and the Airbnb. We were like, okay, let's pay for the whole month and just... So I'm still trying to, like, me talking it out loud is like, attack thoughts. But that's the thing with the lessons, like, this is really what's helping me get through this. And just, God is my strength. God is my strength. God is my strength. Like, that's what I keep telling myself. And like Lady Nehersad was saying, like, you weren't brought here. You don't feel this calling for no reason. Like, there's something on the other side of it. So yeah, we emotionally faced resistance. I did yesterday, and just like I said, attack in the form of attack thoughts for me, in the sense of like, what about, like, for example, like I have remote work secured, but my husband, he doesn't yet. And then Spirit was like, but didn't he just get registered for Ascension?
Didn't we just do that? Yes. Okay. Calm down. Like, calm down, Kristen. And that's something too. Like, as I'm growing and developing, I'm starting to be able to see who's really talking. The voices in my head. Is it my higher self or is it my lower mind? I'm starting to be able to tell the difference. And so, in resistance, I think it's pretty much inevitable. Anything great that you're gonna do, anything that is worthy of doing or having or being, it's gonna cost you, like you're saying, gonna cost you something. And that's like, to me, it's kind of like trials by fire, I guess. So yeah, I'm here for it. Scared as hell, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna get on that plane, and this house is getting packed up. So yeah, moving in 4 weeks. Yes, God. Okay.
Quick. I didn't mean to interrupt. Continue.
I was just saying, God is the mind in which I think, so I'm going to continue to be saying that. All of the lessons, they're all integrating slowly, not slowly, they're actually very rapidly into, as we go on. It's like I'll think of some of the older lessons, like, oh, I can realize these are attack thoughts. Okay, and so when I realize that, it's like, okay, there's no need for a panic attack. And even if I have one, when I know the truth and start to pause, the PBG, pause, breathe, go within, did that several times yesterday. I was like, okay, okay, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So it's actually really great. But that's it. I'm complete.
What's the date that you all are actually departing? It's in March?
March 21st.
March 21st. Wow. Is there a blend of...
Oh, that's the 3-2-1. That's when I went to Metadata Rabbit. When I tell you my life changed on that 3-2-1, you couldn't have picked a possible better day to move. 3-2-1 is magical.
Okay, yeah, because we moved out of this apartment on the 13th, but then we're gonna drive down to where my parents are, drop the car off. We're in Dallas, we'll be flying out of Houston, so kind of have a week before we really take off. So yeah, 3-2-1. That's the actual date that we fly out.
3-2-1 blast off. Congratulations on your blast off. Come on, travel the world. Yesterday I was on Paseo de Montejo. Paseo de Montejo in Mexico, in Merida, Mexico, where I am currently. Every Sunday, there's wheels everywhere because I don't know if y'all know this, but Mexico has a big fitness sort of vibe. Has anybody noticed that? That's in Mexico. I've been in Mexico for
definitely. When I lived in Mexico, there were so many shops with diet stuff and Baja and Peso, everywhere they look, I thought I was slim back then, but I guess I was kind of big for Mexico. And everywhere I went, there were like all kinds of fitness and workout and lose weight, and the women were really, where I lived, there was a park, and I would walk around the park, and people were staring at me, and I'm working out, and they're working out too. It was very fitness oriented place, and if you're kind of on the fluffy side, they're looking at you like, why are you not working out? We have some medicine for that, or herbs, or there's always something that the women were into, and they're very into health and very into fitness. I definitely noticed that in Mexico.
huge into fitness. And so every Sunday, get this. Now, why won't they do this in America? You can do it and you bring it to America, okay? Every Sunday, they would be, they're on Paseo de Montejo and they are riding bikes, rollerblading. They shut down the street for everyone to exercise. Everyone's on some kind of wheels. The little kids are biking, the mama's biking, the daddy's biking, the families are biking, the friends are biking, the partners are biking. Everyone's either biking, rollerblading, skateboarding, pushing something, pushing the stroller and running. They block off the entire street. So I saw a couple of expats there and they were like, "Oh, Valerie Love." I was like, "Yeah, hey, how you loving?" And I remembered one of them. I don't think I had met the other one before. I remembered one of the sisters and she had on this gorgeous, this really cute neon green. I said, "Girl, melanin popping with that." She just looked amazing. And she said, "I want to make sure they can see me, you know?" And she was biking. Everybody's biking. Everybody's moving. So on Sundays, I was kind of yesterday, I was walking because I walk for miles. I walked for miles yesterday. That's my typical walking. You kind of feel like a slouch if you don't have your bike or your rollerblades or something. Get moving. It's a big,
Exactly.
right?
Yes, I mean, families are out. I mean, I never saw like groups like of related people out working out or doing something physical. I mean, I did live in Guadalajara, which is much more city than the other places, but these people were getting it in. They were serious about their health and wellness.
And I saw a sister on the side, Queen Hadassah, selling herbs. She had them in jars. She had different herbs in jars. It was amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was amazing. After I had just come back and eating that ginormous French toast that I could not complete, that y'all saw on my Instagram stories, like a French toast that it ought to be a crime. That French toast ought to be a crime. Anywho, who's next?
God loving family.
Good morning.
Resistance is like, it's been a part of my life as far as I can remember. It's come up all the time, and I feel like it's going to be coming up for when I start for this retreat, but I'm not going to allow it to. I've had so much resistance in all forms and aspects of blocking me. But since I've been doing this for 45 days, my consciousness and my mind has turned around and changed completely. Therefore, I will no longer allow resistance to stop me from being great. I'm complete.
Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations. Because I'm telling you, I've already seen it. That's why I'm putting everyone on the altar that's coming to 222 and the Never Work Again on the altar. And usually I'm always doing work for all of our beings that are in all of our programs and for the whole world, right? I got the message yesterday, resistance is starting. And you're going to notice it 7 days before, within the 7 days before it's starting tomorrow, which is Tuesday, 1 week in advance. You're going to notice it. Go past it. It is a liar. It is your fear. That's all it is. That's all resistance is.
Yes, Wendy, and I would say, if you do this and you move past this resistance, the next time it becomes so much easier. Like Harmony, she has no resistance hopping on a plane, going anywhere in the world. She will just hop on a plane and just go. And that comes with doing this thing and knowing that we have a saying in this community, EWAP, everything always works out perfectly, no matter what. No matter what, every single thing works out perfectly. And this is like a muscle you have to develop. You have to create a new strength within your mind that you can move past the negativity and then get what you really want, because what you really want is in your mind. And move away those thoughts that are very destructive and detrimental to your divine future. You have a divine blueprint. You have spiritual soul spaces on this planet where your soul must be and you must travel to. And of course, resistance will pop up. But when you move past this, and I grew up getting on a plane since I was 5 years old. You know, getting that part of it is not a big deal for me. Certain other things are a big deal for me. And I had to learn through the same process that we're teaching and learning today and all these days to really kick resistance in the butt and move past it. I wouldn't have what I have today if I let resistance stop me at any level. I mean, we've done some things like, when resistance popped up, we have done some things to move past. And as you learn and grow and come to our rooms in person, you're going to learn things that you couldn't possibly learn on this Clubhouse or YouTube or Facebook, because as Rev says, the magic happens in the room. When we're together, we create a synergistic vortex, and what's in there is so damn powerful. Like, if you're not in the room, oh well. When I go someplace and people say, well, how was it? I just tell them it was fine. That's it. There's nothing else to share because you should have been in the room. So push past that resistance. If you do it this time, I don't care what it looks like, how crazy, push past it, and the next time becomes easier, and the next time, piece of cake. Next time, well, what was I thinking? Man, listen, I'm booking tickets. I don't care. I was up last night booking all kinds of tickets. I have tickets to everywhere. Like, this is nothing, no big deal. What about this? Man, listen, book the tickets. Get on the plane, do the damn thing. You can do it. We all can do it. And we're here to support each other in our upliftment, our advancement, our, push to our higher level, finding those thoughts in our minds that are the thoughts of God. God wants you to be happy. God wants you to experience life. And you don't experience that from a couch or from your place of fear. So we're here to support you. We've gone through this. My sister Queen Vashti, I remember when she was stuck in that airport, and it was like, okay, I wanted, normally my as Captain Save a person, I would rush in and just take over. Spirit said, nope. She's going to figure this out. I got her. So sometimes it's time to know when to do something and when not to do something, and allow a person to have their experience. As Divine Lady says, Queen Vashti, have the experience. And if this ever happened to her again, man, piece of cake. Man, she was sleeping in the airport. It don't even. I was like, girl, you gonna sleep in the airport? Yeah, I'm gonna sleep in the airport. Man, you can do it. I'm complete. Come on.
She said, we get together and create a synergistic vortex. I was like, damn, that's a tweetable.
We do.
We do so much stuff when we get together. We laugh, we cry, we roll on the floor, we get rid of shit.
Every emotion.
Oh, every emotion. You will be in bliss, you will be in tears, you will be laughing, you'll be eating good food, you'll be on a beach or on a mountain. It's over experiential.
You can't beat it.
I just wanted to say, I didn't always not have, there's levels to this. Like, there's levels to this. I wasn't always non-resistant when it comes to travel. I had the biggest thing with passports. I paid for like 6 people to go on a cruise, and there was 30 of us like in total. And we get there, we're all excited. I planned this big group cruise, and then the guy said, passports, birth certificate, and I was like, oh, I just had this sinking feeling in my gut. I forgot my passport. And that was one of the most horrific days of my life, unforgettable. Everybody that went on the cruise didn't even have a good time because they were also worried about me being stuck at the port with no passport. And you would have thought I would have solved that passport issue with missing the cruise, where I had paid for myself and 5 other people to go, and I wasn't able to board. Then when it was time to go to Tokyo, I had my passport, but it was about to expire. So everybody check your passport, make sure it has a 6-month validity from this date, and always make sure you know when your passport expires. So then I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to Tokyo, wonderful. Oh, passport, not good. So then I have to rush and get my passport updated and all of that. Luckily, it all worked out. And then when Rev called me to go to Dubai, I get my tickets, can't find the passport. And I'm like, oh my God, I know I put my passport up this time. I know it. I just always had this thing with the passport. And then I searched high and low because I'm like, there's no way that I'm not going to Dubai. I manifested the money. I got my plane tickets. There's no way I'm not going. Now I can't find a damn passport. After I said to myself, my passport will never be my issue. And long story boring, I tore my house apart for weeks. And then finally I said, you know what? I just sat there still and I said, angels, tell me where my passport is. And I heard it like,
right over there.
That it is where you put it. It's just behind where you put it. So I put it in my nightstand drawer, and I took out the drawer in some kind of way. The passport fell behind the drawer. I'm like, I know I put it there. I know it. And on that moment, I went to Amazon and I ordered me a safe. I said, let me lock this puppy up because I never want to not know where my passport is. I never wanted to be expired. So I had a lot of resistance around global travel. Apparently, I didn't think I did, but apparently I did, because every time it was time to go someplace, I had no idea where my passport was, even though I always thought I put it up. So I definitely had resistance, but I think when I went to Dubai and had that quantum leap experience, I knew from that moment forward, my passport resistance, any other resistance I had would never be a thing again. So Dubai really was that quantum leap for a lot of things. Knowing that money is not something that should ever stop you. I learned that with Dubai, and ever since then, I've gone to lots of places, and I always know it. You ask me where my passport is, I can go put my hand on it. So I had a lot of resistance around travel until I completed the Dubai experience. So it definitely was a quantum leap. And I also wanted to say to Kristen, 3, 2, 1. I hate to skip ahead and tell you the juicy deliciousness, but on 3, 2, 1, that has always been, since last year, that is one of my favorite ACIM lessons. Let me recognize my problems have already been solved, and that was the ACIM for March 21st. So just know you're going on such a magical day, and any problem you think you have has already been solved. I'm complete.
Ooh.
Let me just say this, Taya. I solve the passport problem because I keep it on me at all times, because I never know.
At all times. I just showed it to them on YouTube and Facebook.
That's right. Anytime I'm ready to book a flight and I am out, I have my global entry. I go in and out, and seamlessly, easily, there's just certain things we do in this community. We're a global community. We travel around the world. Just get ready and stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, right? I love it.
Because if I'm in the department store and something say, go to the airport right now, I'm headed to the airport right now.
Absolutely.
That's like, I brought the tickets for the Christian Riches Convention, and I'm in Georgia, and I have to make it to New Orleans, and I'm like, do I book a flight? Because I'm a little bit intimidated by airplanes from when I was telling you, like, when I used to have to go and watch my brother leave off, when they would go off for shows or whatever, and the airplane would scare me, so I've never even been on an airplane. So I'm like, oh, how am I going to get to New Orleans? But right now, let's just focus on Miami.
One thing at a time, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh, then the resistance with Miami. I'm like, I'm not going to have no resistance. This is the first time I've ever about to go anywhere, like, by myself. No children, no husband, no nothing. I'm like, how do I even book a room? I had to ask. I'm like, where am I supposed to book a room? Like, I had resistance with that because I was like, I booked a room in a 10-bedroom. So I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, but I was like, forget it. I'm just doing it. So I'm just here for it all, because it's time for me to put forth an effort to change my aspects and my dynamics. Because if I know if I want something better, I got to get up and make sure it happens. And forget whatever else is trying to block me, whoever else is trying to block me, and whatever else is trying to block me. And I know the resistance that I'm going to have, that I'm going to be faced with, because it's staring at me in my face every day. The thing is, I'm going to push past it, but I'm thinking of, like, what would be the consequences of me pushing past it? Me pushing past this blockage that I'm going to have, is it going to cause me not to have a place to stay when I get back? But
if it does, then that would be a wonderful, good thing. That would mean you ain't supposed to be there anyway.
Right.
Like whatever the fallout is from following your soul is whatever is on the other side of divine will is perfection. It's going to get you out of that relationship that was already dysfunctional, or it's going to get you out of that place that's poisoning you, or it's going to whatever happens on the other side is perfect.
And can I add, Coach, that resistance recruits allies. So
talk about it.
Resistance recruits allies. So you may think it's your roommate or your sweetie boo or whatever, but it's all you, boo. It's all you. I'm complete.
And I have come to realize that a lot of it is me and me allowing things to happen. And now I'm getting to the point where, how do I change that? And with this course, I've been learning how to change that. Whatever consequences may come from it, I've been learning how to change it. I'm complete.
Family, if you think you don't have resistance, you're in denial. You're deluded. You are deluded. If you think you do not have resistance, you are delusional and you're in denial. Here is examples of resistance. Oprah did the Oprah show successfully for 20-something years. Then Oprah went to create a whole network, resistance, fear. This woman was already an icon, already operating at stellar levels for her path and destiny on the planet. If it's good enough for Oprah, it's good enough for me. Don't delude yourself. Don't think that you don't have fear. If you don't have fear and you don't feel resistance, you just ain't doing big enough shit. That's all. Well, if you create one show, create a network. Well, if you create a global, create your own communications company. I'm telling y'all, resistance is coming for you. And the big issue is that people are oblivious of it. Don't be oblivious. Everything you see that in any way is not aligned with you being where you are to be is your own resistance. It's not your boo telling you, oh, I can't watch the kids. It's not somebody else telling you, oh, we can't do that. You can't, or you can't take this luggage on the flight. See, we don't know how it's going to show up. That's the beauty of it. It's a surprise. Some of y'all got some surprises. It's a surprise. And because it's a surprise, what we can do is we know that we are tooled. We're ready. We're ready for whatever our crazy mind may throw at us. We're ready. Okay? I'm going to tell you something. I went to the airport 3 times before I went to India to see Dr. Pillai. Why? Because somewhere inside me it knew once I got in front of Dr. Pillai, got in Dr. Pillai's presence, everything would change. And sure enough, it did. 3 times I went to the airport before I got on a plane to go to India. Resistance. Some bullshit story about, oh, this time missed the plane. Oh, this time at the wrong airport. Resistance. Oh, this time don't have the right visa. Resistance. Oh, finally I get there. I get the visa. I get everything. And I'm early. I got there like 5 hours early. I was like, I'm not taking a chance. I'm just going to work from the airport today. I was the first person online. Visa, this. I was over ready. They said, come right on to the plane, Miss Love. And I had to go to the ancestors to get me over the resistance to go to India because I had tried everything I had and I ran out of everything in my bag of tricks. And I was like, I surrender. Mom, you got to do this. They were like, well, we were waiting for you to surrender and take your grubby paws off us so we could actually do it for you. I was like, thank God. Next thing you know, I was on the plane. I'm telling you, when you leave your norm, resistance, expected, I won't say expected as in that you're going to create it. I don't mean it that in that sense. I mean, Be aware. Be responsible. This looks like it's slowing me down to go to, this looks like an issue. This looks like something. I own this as my own resistance. I'm going to ho'oponopono it. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Thank you. I love you. I love you. You're going to be ready. Okay? There's always going to be resistance when you're on your divine path. There's definitely resistance. And if you don't have resistance, you ain't doing jack. You ain't doing shit. That's why you don't have no resistance. Dude, look, let me read you something. Let me read you something. Thank you, Spirit. I got something for this. I got something for you. If you don't have the trilogy yet of No Excuses Manifesto, Dark Night of the Soul, 3 workbooks, and Why You're Stuck. Why You're Stuck. Get them immediately. I want to share something with you out of Why You're Stuck. Picture yourself standing in a wide open space outdoors with 4 caves in front of you. 4 caves, you're outdoors, wide open space, 4 caves. Cave number 1 has a plush sofa inside with a huge TV screen and snacks galore. Ooh, cave number 1. Cave number 2 has a luscious sex partner or partners inside with all the sex and pleasure you could fathom, enough for 1,000,000 years. Ooh, cave 2. I could do it all with as many people as I want. Cave 3 holds all manner of distractions, including social media, getting in other people's business, rescuing people. You know how you rescue people so you don't have to live your destiny and do the big scary steps? Busyness that does not lead to productivity and endless navel picking, just not doing nothing. That's cave 3. Cave 4. You're looking at these 4 caves. Cave 4 holds your highest and best achievements. Except there's one big problem. Cave 4 holds your highest and best achievements. Thriller, Michael Jackson. Purple Rain, Prince. And Still I Rise, Maya Angelou. Beethoven's Fifth. Toni Morrison, Paradise and Beloved, and Song of Solomon and The Bluest Eye. Like your greatest achievement, Picasso, Michelangelo. Cave 4 holds your greatest achievements, epic. Except there's one big problem. Standing outside of cave number 4 is a fire-breathing dragon. Note carefully that the other caves are easy to enter. Once inside, you can stay as long as you like. You'll never get anywhere. You'll stay stuck. Cave number 4, get global travel, moving to another country, creating that book, creating the retreat center, creating the network, creating the new apps, the yoga center, leading, speaking on stages all over the globe, writing incredible books. That's cave number 4. Is by far the most terrifying and unknown of all the caves. No one in their right mind would dance with a dragon for the unknown. You're going to go, there's a dragon in front of cave 4, fire breathing, looking at you. The other 3 caves have no dragon. 0 resistance to go in cave number 1, sit on a nice big plush sofa and watch Netflix until you go into oblivion while eating popcorn and chips. No resistance. Cave number 2, go get all the pleasure you could possibly have. Just be hedonistic. Have all the love, the sex partners, not even love partners. Have all the sex partners you want. Have all the pleasure you want. Just dripping with pleasure. Just pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. That's all you're thinking about is pleasure. Cave number 3, no resistance. You can go in that cave forever and stay as long as you like. You know some people that have lived in the pleasure cave for I don't know how many years. decades, you can go in cave number 3. In cave number 3, just all kinds of nothingness, distractions, scrolling the feed all day long, just looking at things, busy, getting in other people's business, not really doing anything magnificent yourself, all worried about your kids, worried about that person doing everything else other than living your destiny. In cave number 4 is your greatest achievements, your destiny, and there's a fire-breathing dragon in front of the cave. Do you see why people pick caves 1, 2, and 3? This is teaching you how to be a dragon rider. There's levels to this thing, as Harmony said earlier, and I put 4 levels in here. And I described the 4 levels to you in this book so that you can journal them and know exactly what's going on in as few words as possible. And so that you can always pick cave 4. Always pick the cave with the dragon in front of it. That's going to the retreat. That's creating retreats. That's writing your books. That's singing that song on stage. It's playing the violin on videos. It's making videos. It's making an incredible YouTube channel. It's making an incredible retreat center. It's growing. It's doing magic. It's talking to angels. It's everything you want is in cave number 4. And it has the dragon outside of it. If you think you're just going to waltz into your dream life, you're either delusional or I don't know what's happening. I don't think anyone here thinks that, because we've been in a Course in Miracles lesson there by now. And by day 45, if you don't know that you're stark, raving, mad, crazy, and you need to go past all those crazy thoughts, if you haven't figured that out by now, let's just keep going. That's all. Who's next?
God morning.
Good morning, Max. It's Max's birthday. Everybody on stage give Max birthday love. I was texting him late last night. I was like, I know it's not your birthday yet. Happy birthday. He's born on Valentine's Day, girl. Max is born on Valentine's Day.
Thank you. The love, I feel the love. Thank you. But I just want to pick up on resistance here, because for me, when I think of resistance, I hear the word attempt. Because when we define resistance in the dictionary form, it's the attempt to prevent something by action. But the same way that we attempt to prevent it by action, we can attempt to do something about it as well. And so this morning I had a flight to Colorado, and I was like, am I going? Am I not going? And it's just the flexibility that I have, not the fear of going. And then it said there's like a massive snowstorm coming on Thursday. I'm like, am I resisting going to Colorado this Wednesday? And then I was thinking, then I gotta get the car, and then it's gonna snow, and then the highways, and I'm thinking, I have done this so many times before. So the attempt of prevention is also the attempt to be motivated and inspired to do. And I love when you say the dragon in front of cave 4. And sometimes we perceive it as a dragon when in reality it's just a lizard. And I know that with the book that I'm working on now, Val, I know I reached out to you last week, resistance was popping up. And I've been working on this book for like 15 years, 10 years, really into it. And the last 2 years, like really, really into it. And so, of course, these dragons are appearing. And so when Val says that if we think that we don't have resistance, we're delusional. Resistance will be there. The dragons will be there. The roadblock will be there. The mountain will be there. But the joy in knowing that we can say to the mountain, I cast you aside, to the dragon, I slay you, to those that don't want us to succeed, I already got this, is the focus. The resistance, I believe, is there to remind us that we're on the right path. The resistance is there, I believe, to say that when it rises up in your face, you can say, fear not. The resistance is there so that when you're about to achieve something, and all those who were never in your favor think that they're going to finally have that moment to applaud their behavior to make you stop, and you rise up against them, and you realize that no weapon formed against me shall prosper, and that you realize that, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Come on. And when that dragon stands before that cave, you can mightily and boldly say to it, I cast you aside and enter into your greatness. So resistance is something, I believe, that we need to really thank that we need to embrace. And the resistance is not because we can't do something. The resistance is not that moment in time where, like the definition says, the attempt to prevent something by action. We also can take that action that's inside of us to prevent it and march forward and do it. So I wanted to leave that with you all today. Val, I love you. This space I love. And Val, as always, thank you for your commitment to this space. I'm sure there's been resistance in trying to every morning come to this space, and it might be through internet or something else, but I just applaud you, standing ovations for your commitment, for your dedication, and for your love in this women's space. I love you.
Oh, Max, you hit the nail on the head, as we say, the proverbial nail on the head, because guess what it says in your birthday? This is for Max's birthday. This is a blessing for his incredible book. It says that the dragon is the signal that is where you are to go. Exactly like Max described. It described exactly what the book says. What it says is this is the good news. The good news is, oh, I see the dragon over there. Oh, that's the way I'm supposed to go, because this is how I become a dragon rider in my life. And what it says here is that you are going to go and meet the dragon. You're going to run straight to that cave. And it says, I can promise you this, if you run, capitalize, straight to the dragon guarded cave, you will be terrified, yet you will not be stuck because you will be in motion. At least you won't be stuck no more, right? Because why you're stuck, you will have chosen. Choice sets your path ablaze with powerful action. As you meet the dragon running at top speed, like all of a sudden this dragon sees you running at it at top speed, watch out for the fire breath, which you will surely feel. But remember, you're an immortal being. Don't worry. While it may send you, it will not destroy you. You might feel some heat. You can show up to your destiny with your eyebrows singed, like all the rest of us dragon riders. A bunch of us got our eyebrows singed. We're still here. We who chose to take on our deepest fears and ride them out to a spectacular apex. If you run to meet the dragon, you will dance with it for a while before you figure out exactly how to mount it and ride it into your personal cave of treasures. It will be more than worth it to be a dragon rider. Dangers and all, you were born for this and you cannot fail. That's what we're talking about, being a dragon rider and hearing how to be a dragon rider in your life. The resistance ought to tell you, oh, this is the path. Zero resistance, maybe I ought to think if I want to watch Netflix for 5 hours tonight, or if I want to do 2 hours of research on these cryptos that I'm learning about in Essential. Your choice, your choice. Resistance, learning about Bitcoin resistance, learning about NFTs resistance, learning about DeFi and protocols resistance, moving your funds over to becoming more and more decentralized in a crypto experience and a Bitcoin experience, living the Bitcoin standard resistance, because we're so used to going to the bank, going to the bank, going to the bank, going to the bank. And did you see in the revelation, did you see that they were able to punk GoFundMe into not giving money to people who were having a peaceful protest and a peaceful demonstration? Whether you agree with them or not, that's not a political thing. We're talking about other people pulling the strings on your personal wealth. Eliminate that. That would have never happened. That's why we have Bitcoin. We just send it straight to you. Nobody can be in the way. And nobody can say you can't have it. It's permissionless. We don't need permission. See, all these other platforms, we are saying, oh, I need permission to use that. And if they say no, if the powers that be say no, you can't do it, then you can't do it. You shut down? I don't think so. God did not create you to be shut down. You're a sovereign being. Thank you so much, Max, for that. You could have wrote this book, Max.
When Max was speaking, when I tell you I got up and started running around this room, I felt like we just had church. So thank you for that. And what you said to me that was just so sexy, I clipped every 30 seconds that you were speaking. What you said that was so sexy, sometimes that dragon is a lizard. That gave me life. That gave me so much life. Thank you for that, Max. And again, happy birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And the truth and the candidness of that lizard. I'm in Florida right now, and I was looking out over the pool area in this beautiful home that I have. And I say that not to boast, but just to be in the gratitude of this moment that I could be in options. And there was a little lizard that went by, right when God was saying the dragon. And so I said, we perceive this dragon to be these mighty things sometimes. When in reality, this little lizard was looking for a little mosquito to eat or something. I'm thinking, I could take that lizard down. And the lizard's thinking, that mosquito could be his dragon, but he took it down. And that's the beauty of the dragon. Sometimes it could be in the most bizarre image. It could be your children. It could be your spouse. It could be your family. It could be your past. It could be your future. It could be your moment. So whatever the dragon is, it's a perception. And it's a pattern. And it's a pathology. But look where we are. You know, I woke up today beautifully, gratefully, thank you, and another birthday, and another year. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm here. Where I am right now is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And for those that don't want to be there, and that dragon is in front of them, I promise you, look where you came from. Look where you were. Look where you are. And if you don't like where you are, there's that resistance in you. Know that there's supporters. We're supporting you to do you, to be you. And not only are we supporting you, all that is supporting you. And not all that is, but all that you knew. Your ancestors are supporting you. Everyone is pushing us all forward, step by step by step, into the key number 4. And when that block comes, the beauty of that block, of that resistance, of that dragon, of whatever it is, that fear, is that we have the capability, just by being alive and here today, to slay it. So go into this new moment slaying things that are in your way and trusting and knowing that where you are is exactly where you're supposed to be. I'm complete.
Ashe, do y'all remember Khaleesi? Khaleesi, breaker of chains,
Yes.
fireborn, stormborn, mother of dragons. Why don't you create a Khaleesi experience for yourself? I had to do that for myself. Remember, we did that exercise in the Enlightenment Circle. You had to create an introduction for yourself. You know, when when people came into Khaleesi's presence, behold, Khaleesi, the Khaleesi, breaker of chains. She had like 5 names before you even could talk to her. And you had to listen to all 5 names. Mother of dragons, stormborn. Now, what do you want, peasants? So it's not that you are looking at other people as peasants, it's that you're not looking at yourself as one either. That all are equal in spirit. It is a spirit and it is a force of equanimity. You're great and everyone's great. You're a god among gods. Okay? You're goddesses among goddesses. You're divine beings among divine beings. So comport yourself accordingly. Who's next?
Good morning.
Hey, Jen. How you loving? Good morning.
Good. Before I found out about 222, I already had a show booked in West Palm Beach on the 25th, and then I also was planning to look at places to live, like rentals. And recently, so I'm going there to visit my uncle and look at places to live and play a show, and I'll be at 222. But recently I found out that like the cost of moving is much higher than I realized. So I'm been kind of freaking out about that the past couple of days, and I'm just looking to, maybe that's resistance. That I don't have the money, but I'm looking to manifest, the money. So,
where is your soul calling you to, if I might ask?
Florida. I mean, originally I've never actually been to Florida, but I was thinking of Miami originally. But my uncle lives in a small town near Orlando, so I was thinking about that because it's cheaper. But
where does your soul want you to go?
Somewhere in Florida. I'm not sure yet, but I like the idea of going to where my uncle lives is sounding kind of good at this point.
Would you like, may I offer you something?
Yeah.
What would happen if you went deep within in meditation and asked your soul, take me right to where is the highest and best good for us all? Because where your soul takes you, you don't have to concern yourself with money. Where your soul takes you, you don't have to concern yourself with, is this the right place for me? Your soul has already prepared a place for you. Yet I hear you say, I was thinking. And I was thinking that if I go here, right? And I was thinking that, and I was also seeing that the lack of limitation was coming into the conversation. And I was thinking, what about stilling the mind and going deep within and say, soul, take me, I'm yours.
Okay, that sounds good. Thanks.
Beautiful, Jenny. You're going to get clarity also at 222 Quantum Manifestation Event. That Quantum Manifestation Event in Miami is about to be fire, fire, with an AH at the end. Fire. Who's next?
Hey, Val, let me just jump in real quick.
Come on.
Just what we said with Jenny, because I'm here in Florida too. And I remember when I was taking the move here 11 years ago. I was living in Connecticut at the time, and there was one blizzard too many. And I was stuck in the driveway, and talk about resistance. There was a pile of snow, probably about 4 feet tall. And I said, how am I getting out of here? And then Florida rang a bell. And my grandmother had an apartment here, so there was already something set up. It was easy. I was like, I'm going. Came to Florida. The moment that I got here, everything changed. My whole life changed. In the sense where I met somebody. I'm 11 years in a relationship now. Abundance. I let go of so many things that I had to let go of. And thinking, am I leaving this beautiful house? I literally left the cars there, everything. I came to Florida. And it was amazing how through the journey of those 11 years of leaving things behind, when one thing goes, another thing comes. So be open to the flow. And Florida is a very interesting state. I'm not here to judge it. I'm just here to give you my perception of it. And from the East Coast to the West Coast to the North to the South, it is one interesting place. And the place where I thought I wouldn't live, because back then when I heard of it, it had such a stank on the name. I was like, oh, I would never live there. I'm here now 11 years, and the growth of this place where I am living is unbelievable. And so open your heart space, open just your being, open your soul to let all that is guide you, be your compass to where to go in Florida. And I believe in like attracts like. So really before you go to a place in Florida, and when your soul is going to bring you there, it's going to bring you there anyway. But like Val said, if with Bitcoin and this, do your research. Know what Orlando's about. Know what Miami is about. I've lived in Miami. I just visited Orlando. I know I wouldn't live there.
When she said Orlando, I was like, no one's soul takes them to Orlando, does it? Unless you just go to see the ears and then you leave.
Just to be candid, what I heard was your uncle's there, so there's a safety. So it's familiar for you.
Yeah, safety.
There's a safety net. That's what the first thing that I heard in Orlando with the uncle.
Well, it's not Orlando, it's Titusville. It's an hour from
Orlando. Just as bad. Yeah, same thing. Same universe.
But so my offering to you is Florida's an amazing place if you're in the right place in Florida. So really do your research and trust. Look, I'm about 45 minutes north of Miami Beach. And I have a friend of mine who's looking for an apartment now. He's like, I can't find an apartment. Miami's too expensive. And this is just a fact that rentals have gone up 40% here. And then the other day we were on Zillow and an apartment came up 1 block from the beach for $145,000. For him, that was like below what he was looking for because he was in like the 250 range. And there was something for $145,000. And so for him, that worked. A block from the beach, 1 bedroom with another little room. I was like, when you open yourself up and your soul knows where you're going to go, everything will rise up to meet you. That's the perfect place to live, the perfect situation for that moment. So just open yourself up and trust yourself and go. Just go. If Florida's calling your soul, be here. And remember, nothing is permanent. And the more things seem to be permanent, the more they seem to be lifeless. So just enjoy the flow, enjoy the moment, and let your soul guide you. I'm complete.
Thank you. Part of what I realized is that it's cheaper to just get rid of everything you have and rather than like pay for a truck to take everything.
Does it matter
So
what's
it's kind of
cheaper, or does it matter what is unfolding for your soul? Is the barometer or is the basis for making decisions what's the cheapest, or is the basis for making decisions what is my soul taking me to?
Well, it also has to do with the amount of money that I have, but I guess if I decide
Okay,
what I
pause.
want
Okay,
to
pause.
have-
Okay, pause.
Yeah.
Pause. Because this is the cart before the horse, yes? Because we look at the money and then we decide what to do, which is cart before the horse. We are looking at our soul. And as we move, all manner of wealth, prosperity, abundance, all that is required, as Max said, it'll rise up to meet you, it will be there. All manner of sustenance is there wherever you are. You're the substance, you're the abundance, you are the wealth of the universe. It's wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We're fully supported by the universe, wherever we are, whatever we're doing, whatever I'm eating. It's lovely, it's luscious, it's delicious. If I'm at this home or I'm that. Have y'all seen some of the tours of these places where spirit takes me? I mean, they're gorgeous. They're just jaw-dropping. A pool. And then when I show up, I just show up and they give me the best room in the whole place. The pool is right outside my apartment. I got more bedrooms than I can even use. One was a 2-bedroom apartment in Playa del Carmen, super cheap. It's like lovely. They put me in the best room in the place. I'm like, this is fabulous. Like, what's the problem? It's not a problem, right? There is, like they say in Jamaica, everything is Irie, man. Everything is Irie. I've been to Jamaica 4 times. In Jamaican, it's no problem. There's no problem, man. No problem. Everything is Irie. So there's no problem, Jenny. There's no problem. Other than the problems we're creating in our minds, that means meditate more.
Thank you.
Also, the past is beautiful to leave behind if that's what your soul is saying. So if you're hearing it's cheaper, it might not be the cheapness of leaving of letting things go. It might be your soul saying, let all that shit from the past go. And the good thing about Florida, I can tell you firsthand, because we're working on the show about it right now, is there are so many consignment shops here and thrift shops and this with beautiful things that you could fill a new space with and have new energy with. So maybe it's time that it's not the money, it's your soul saying, let it all go. Let it go and trust the flow.
Thank you.
Ashe, Jenny, we welcome you to Miami. When my son wanted to go to Miami, he knew he was supposed to be in Miami. He was in New Jersey and he was suffering. He was in the snow, it was cold, and he kept saying, I've got to get to Miami, Mom, for the art, for this and that. And his art career took off in Miami. Miami was the first place where he got his first comma check for art and where he got his, I think, first comma check. I don't know for sure. I do know he got his first 5-figure art commission with schools and things like that. He's received a proclamation from the mayor, took off, like Matt said, took off. He went to where he knew he was to be. And accommodations show up, people show up, food shows up, and it's worked. And it's working better and better and better. So yeah, family, let go and trust. And it doesn't mean, when you say let go, some people think, let go and let God. That means you're not supposed to have any responsibility for your earthly belongings. That's not true. And you're not supposed to take care of the things that have been entrusted to you. That's not true. Max has 3 homes. Max has a home in Florida, a home in New York, and a home in Colorado, and they all fly. He shows those pictures of that house. I cannot wait to get to that barn up in New York because OMG. And he's finding these amazing finds for this beautiful space. Magical. These spaces are magical. So go with the flow and let spirit, everything you want, spirit has something even better for you. Go with it. Who's next?
Now, can I just pick up since you brought up my name?
Yes.
About that. If I journey back to where I was 11 years ago, 11 years ago this month, 11 years ago. And someone said to me, there's a beautiful image that I see, and I might have mentioned it here before, where there's this little child holding this little tiny teddy bear. But this teddy bear means everything to this child. This teddy bear has been through this child's life. It's ragged, it's worn, it's adorable, it's cute, it's well-loved. It means everything to this child. And there's all that is, God, the universe, whatever we want to call it, standing there before you with this gigantic teddy bear behind his back and saying, give me that little one. And what I'll give you is so much more in return. For me, it was leaving my family, my house, my cars, not leaving them in the sense abandoning them, just leaving them in the sense that I was looking and searching and wanting something new. Resistance was stopping me from it. Don't go, your mother, your sister, your niece, your cars, your this, your that, your clothes, your shoes. And finally I was like, I need to do it for me. I remember walking through my dining room when I was in Connecticut. I remember walking through that dining room and I felt like the floor became like jelly. And it was like a wave, like pushing me forward. And I was thinking, what is this? And I remember standing in the driveway and I called my friend Sharon in London. I said, Sharon, I gotta go. She's like, where are you going? I said, to Florida. She goes, you're going to Florida? I said, I gotta go. And literally booked a flight, came down to Florida, was like, okay, I'm supposed to be here. Then called my friend Rocco and said, Rocco, you gotta help me drive one of the cars down. So then I flew back to Connecticut. We drove back down to Florida. And as I was here, everything started unfolding. And even though I left everything behind, everything I needed was with me. And so when I was standing in Florida in this moment, then I was like opening myself up to receive. God knows, 11 years later, here I am. And I thought that I was giving up so many things. But like I said earlier, when you give with one hand or when you let go with one hand, have your other hand open to receive. That's flow. And so in that receiving, when I thought I was letting everything go, and then I sold my cars, I sold my Bentley, I sold my other Bentley, I sold my Cadillacs and this and that. I came to Florida with a Mini, my little Mini Cooper. And I said, I'm good. All is well within my soul. And then the next thing you know, the Mini turned into a Range Rover, turned into another car. For me, these things I enjoy. So I don't say it again to boast. These are just things I enjoy, nice cars. And so the next thing. And then it was like a house in Colorado. And then it was a farm in New York. And I was thinking, all of this just because I let go that little teddy bear, that little thing that I love so much, not realizing that it wasn't one big teddy bear that the universe had for me behind his back. It was a million teddy bears. It was whatever I desired, whatever I could create in my mind, I could create in my reality. And so I stand out today being able to say, whatever it is you need to let go of, trust that where you are is where you're supposed to be. Trust your intuition. Trust your step, your next step. And when you get to where you're supposed to be, always have gratitude. I'm complete.
Max, have you ever heard of Imaloa Institute and Jake, who's the founder of Imaloa Institute? Max, I think Jake is like a kindred spirit of yours. I really do. I really do. Jake, and look him up. He's on Instagram. Imaloa Institute. Imaloa is spelled Imiloa. It's in Costa Rica. We're going to be doing a retreat there later this year. It is this fabulous retreat center. When I say fabulous, I mean it has the woods, it has the forest, it has the beach. Jake created something. He talks about Imaloa. They had these 2,000-year-old, I think he said 2,000-year-old houses flown in from Bali. I mean, it's some they didn't like cut down trees to build this retreat center. I mean, like they built retreat centers, the retreat center around the trees. They have the chef, they have everything. It is so magnificent. Well, Jake, when I met him, and we hit it off like this. I mean, Jake is just like this really amazing being. Jake was this very high-powered person in New York. I think he was in the entertainment industry. And he had this dream house out on, it was either Long Island or Staten Island. He had this dream house, this fabulous dream house. He's living high, he's flying high, all dreams, dream life. And then the hurricane came. One of those hurricanes that went many years ago, one of those hurricanes that came all the way up to New York, which is very rare. Why did it trash his whole house? Like the house just trashed, gone. And he's just devastated, right? He's like, oh my God, my house is this dream house, just trashed. It's like the universe just trashes something that you spent like decades creating, and then it just looks at you like, what are you going to do now? Like, you feel like, oh. So he said he went to live with his grandmother. I think it was his grandmother. It was either his grandmother or his aunt. He's got to tell you all this story. He went to live with his grandmother, and literally, he was living in her basement, and literally, it was like the lowest of the low in his life. Like, the basement was truly a metaphor. Like, you were flying so high. What has gone wrong? What has gone? All the thoughts that will go through your head if you're having this experience. That your whole everything is wiped out. Your whole house. Something was going on with the career. What was it? It was simply a pattern interrupt from the universe to go another direction. But we're flying so high with where we are that we don't want to change. Well, he was in that basement. He said for 2 years he was in that basement. He was, meditating. He was doing spiritual things, and he was thinking. And then all of a sudden, his soul called him to Hawaii. He was like, "Well, how am I going to get to Hawaii? Right? I don't have income. I don't have this. I don't have that. How am I going to go to Hawaii?" And yet, that's what he knew was the inspiration. That was the next step. Spirit will just have you leap, and you don't know why you're leaping to that place. Leap first, right? Ask questions later, or just don't ask questions. Just leap in confidence. Well, he was like, Hawaii. Next thing he knew, he said a friend of his said, "Hey, there's a house for rent in Hawaii." He was like, "Oh, really?" He said, "Yes, $5,000 a month." He was like, "Where am I going to get $5,000 a month? I'm not even working," right? So yet he could feel it in his spirit. He said he applied. Now, what would make you apply for a house in Hawaii that's $5,000 a month that had another, like an in-law suite in the back? It was sort of like a cottage that was on the grounds that was included with the house, that was all fully furnished and everything that you could rent out. And he's thinking to himself, okay, well, I'm going to apply. He applied for the house. The lady called him and said, "Hey, you applied for the house." "Yeah." "Well, if you want it, when can you move in? It's yours." He's like, I don't have income. In his mind, this is what he's thinking, right? But the lady gave him the house. He comes to the house and he thinks, okay, how am I going to be paying this $5,000 a month? Because I don't have money. This is how you Forrest Gump your life. But some of you are sitting there trying to plan the whole thing out. You're trying to plan steps C, D, and E, and you didn't take steps A and B. And step B is going to put you on another planet. You're trying to plan C, D, and E on Earth, and step A took you to Mars, and step B took you to Venus. But your T, D, and E plans are on Earth. Okay, so he goes to the house out in Hawaii. He finds a way out of the basement after 2 years. And he's telling me this story, and my mouth is literally hanging open as Jake is telling me this story. He gets to Hawaii and he looks at the house in the back and he says, okay, I'm going to rent this out. I'm going to Airbnb it. He told me, Val, Kaisi, I don't know how many years he was there, 3, 4, or 5 years. He said every single month that he was there, that apartment, that extra cottage house rented out, forget this, $10,000 a month. He had $5,000, he paid the house, he had $5,000 left over. He didn't even have to work. I'm gonna say that again. He rented the house out that was on that wasn't even the big house. He was in the big house. This was a cottage or some additional structure that was very lovely that he could rent out. He rented it out for $10,000 a month. And of course, he could well afford his $5,000 a month. Do you know the spirit? $10,000 is nothing. To us, we made up, maybe some people made up, but I came from financial services. And in financial services, we work with a lot of big, huge numbers. So $10,000 is not a lot. It's not. I mean, people can go through $10,000 in one day. Many people do. He got $10,000 a month. He said not 1 month that he was in that house house was not rented. And he had the $5,000 a month, free and clear. So Spirit paid for his house, $5,000, big, huge mansion. And he had $5,000 a month to put in his pocket. Then he said, what started happening? He was making the house, he was meditating. He was making the house into a healing space. He was, talking to people in Hawaii. I think he was talking to a shaman or someone who gave him the word Imaloa. Okay, so see, something's happening here, something's happening here, but you don't know what's happening. Something's happening. Okay. He notices that the house is such a healing house that he starts asking, he starts letting friends come over because friends are stretched out, da, 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 da. And he noticed that when he started taking people in, that they would stay in his house, the big house, because he had like 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, something like that. It was a big mansion. He would take people in. And while he was taking people in, he said he would notice a change in them, that they would just start being relaxed and they would just start opening and coming to themselves, and you can see more. And he was mapping out the vision. He was mapping out the vision, mapping out the vision for a retreat center, but he didn't know where it was going to be. Lo and behold, Costa Rica, Imaloa, look it up on Instagram. The whole 9 yards, the suites, and the thing is so booked up, you can't even hardly get into Imaloa. We are going to have a book retreat there at Imaloa later on, and in 2022, I'm going to book the dates. Imaloa is so breathtakingly gorgeous. Yoga space to do your yoga, run retreats there, suites. It's nestled in the forest, and then if you walk all the way down, you are at the beach. They have the chef on board with all vegan, vegetarian, natural cuisine, locally sourced. They pick you up at the airport. I'm looking at Jake like, Jake, what are you saying right now? When he told me that story, I wanted to jump up and run, because that's not special. That's how we're to live. Can you understand that that's not, we call him, do you remember when the agents were chasing Neo and they saw him and one of them said, the anomaly? That's what they called him. They called him the anomaly. You see, because that's what they thought, because they're like, we got all the rest of them locked tight in the matrix, but he's the anomaly because he can do spectacular things that the rest of them haven't figured out how to do yet. He wasn't the anomaly. There are many people that are free. Jake is not an anomaly. Jake is showing us one way, showing us how he did it. And what we get from it is inspiration to do it how we're going to do it. Jake and Max, y'all would be fast friends. I got to tell you, y'all would be fast friends. Who's next?
What about the Oprah part?
Oh.
Thank you for sharing that. I want to go now.
Oh my God. Y'all are going to be fast friends. Harmony, I forgot about the Oprah part. One day, this is where Jake's house is in Hawaii, where he was staying in Hawaii. One day, Jake was outside and he saw Oprah, I think it was Oprah and Gail on a golf cart. And he was waving and Oprah was waving. His property was right across from Oprah. I was like, Jake, come on now. Jake, when are you writing the book? Jake and Imaloa, look it up. Follow Imaloa on Instagram, Imaloa Institute. Magnificent. That's how you do it. That's how you create something monumental in the universe. And you don't do it by thinking your way there. You can't think your way there, and there's no way around doing the big scary things, and there's no way around. How you gonna move to Hawaii to a $5,000 a month home, and you don't have any money? You're living in your grandmother's basement. Anyone else would not have applied. They would have just been like, well, I can't afford it. Something told him, you know what that something is. Something's telling me to do this. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up on paper. It will. Go with it. Go with it. Who's next?
Real quick, can you spell Imaloa? I'm trying to look it up, or someone pin it to the top.
Imiloa, and it has an ancient Hawaiian meaning. And I am not sure of the meaning, so I'm not going to guess at it. He gave me the meaning of it. I don't remember exactly what it means. It's a powerful meaning. He got it when he was in Hawaii. the name of the retreat center. How many of y'all would have seen the house? How many of y'all would have still been devastated? I see many pits along the way. Some people would have still been back at Long Island, devastated over the house and drinking themselves into a stupor and bemoaning their horrible lot in life. Some people would have got stuck there. My house is my house, my career. Some people would have got stuck in grandma's basement because, oh, my life is just so terrible right now. I was so high and now I'm all the way down here. Oh, it's just horrible. And they would have went into some low level pit and stayed there. Some people would have seen spirit saying, hey, come to Hawaii. They would have counted themselves out. I can't go to Hawaii. I don't have the money for that. Oh, wow. Your friend tells you, they bring you the house. They bring you the house. You see the house, $5,000 a month. Oh, I can't afford $5,000 a month. I don't even have any income. I can't do that. Get out of here. And then you can be mad at your friend. You be mad at your friend because your friend even said something to you. How dare you recommend this to me? And your friend is like working for the universe. You see, I see many spots where people would have just cut themselves out or not kept going. He kept going. I see many people, okay, now you're in the house. Are you working the vision? Are you partying? You got $5,000 a month coming in. You just partying. You living life. Yay. Hey, let's get to sex and juicing and snorting and drinking and whatever. He wasn't doing that. He was bringing people into his home. He had a retreat center before the retreat center. His home was the retreat center because he saw how people, he said that if people had a space, they could heal, they could unfold. He saw it. He was doing the retreat center before the retreat center. Can you see that, family? Follow Emaloa. I'm going to bring it up on the screen on YouTube as well and Facebook. Continue. Who's next? It's called Emaloa Institute. It's called Emaloa Institute.
We have Elena.
I had to clock in, so that's why I wrote something on YouTube. Thank you.
Girl, Alina, let me tell you something. I'm about to get you. You coming on stage and you still at that job. I'm coming for you because I love you. And I heard you the other day. I popped in one of your rooms the other day. It was amazing. I'm like, Alana is in here breaking it down. What is going on? Alana, what's going on?
Okay. All right, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Okay, we're gonna go to Fire Fairy and come back to you. Come on, Fire Fairy. How you loving?
Oh no, I'm back.
Oh, okay. You're good. You're good for right now.
Yeah.
What's happening? You good?
Yeah. So we definitely I've been doing what you have been telling me to do, but I'm still on this. I'm still on this place. I'm still here, but I've received so much resistance. I woke up scared. I don't even know what I was scared of. I woke up. I was like, oh my goodness. How am I gonna get out? How am I gonna get back from Miami? How am I gonna? I was like, girl, you got a round trip ticket. So I've been having like these panics about stuff. So I have yet to get a room. I need to get a room. So, but I know I'm going. But I'm just taking it step by step. And there has resistance has already showed up. I thought it was just me. I'm glad you said something about this. So I appreciate you. Every day I'm taking steps to do something different. So I have a client today when I get off work. I do have a client to talk to. And
a paying client?
Yes, she's paying.
Come on. I'm
taking steps. All righty, so thank you so much for everything. I'm glad you popped in. Thank you.
Absolutely. Alana was breaking it down with them words. I was like, woo, do it. Yeah, you have a powerful gift. Work it.
Okay.
And you'll be paid so much more. You'll be paid so much more than what a job will pay you. So much more.
Yes.
Yes, so much more.
Yes, I can receive that.
And
I
you'll
love
be
you.
free. You'll be free. I love you
Yeah.
as well, sis.
Okay.
Can't wait to
All
see
right.
you. All right. Fire Fairies
Wait
next.
to see you either.
Hello, Reverend Love.
Good morning.
I'm gonna be vulnerable because I'm going through something extreme and weird. But I was supposed to leave the country already 5-6 years ago, and I haven't, and my life has become a living hell. And I'm still
Where were you guided to go? What was the inspiration to go where?
It was Mexico. For real, it was Mexico.
It was Mexico?
Yeah.
What part of Mexico? Did it give you a destination or anything?
It was gonna be Baja California.
Oh.
So cliche.
Oh.
I know, so cliche.
Baja California. Okay.
Because I want to be, by the beach or near water.
Oh, Baja California. So beautiful. And so you didn't take the step then.
This is ratchet life.
Okay. So you didn't take the step then. So what are you choosing now? What is coming to you in this now moment? What's the awareness?
Well, eventually go, because there's so many signs but and it's what you said the other day too here on Clubhouse. It's kind of hitting me that America isn't really supportive here if you're a different shade, and I've been getting whacked across the face, with my business entity, with other people I love and supported. But yeah, I have a lot of support from, down south, Mexico and South America. There's a lot of
So
support.
let me ask you a question. Do you remember the story in the Bible? I love this story. Do you remember the story in the Bible where there was Philip talking to an Ethiopian eunuch? That's all they call him. They call him an Ethiopian eunuch. And they were riding in a chariot, and Philip was breaking down the gospel, the Godspell, the gospel, the good news. Good news is a Godspell. And they were talking about resurrection of Jesus Christ, and they was breaking it down, and Philip was telling them about, be baptized, and and the Ethiopian, this man is dripping with jewels, and he's arrayed, and he's got all kinds of things. He works for the king and whatnot. He's incredible. And he says, hold the chariot, stop the chariot, because if this is what you're telling me is so, hold everything. What prevents me from getting baptized right now? That's what he said. He said, here's a body of water. What prevents me from taking off my clothes and you baptize me right now? Philip said nothing, and they did it right then. So I love that story, because the story is that, okay, I can have a blinding light, Saul on the road to Damascus, scale fall from my eyes at any moment, and then get up and do the thing. So what is it now? Are you choosing to do the thing? What's the choice?
Well, thank you for that question, Reverend Love. I feel more compelled to go now, just from you telling me that. I don't think I have any more to share, other than I was in a lot of... I'm scared to death, Reverend Love.
Join the club of people doing big things. Yay!
Because I haven't spoken that much Spanish since I was 3 or 4, but it's sometimes, I can read it just fine. And once I read it, it comes back to me. So I feel like I would be all right. Also, but I'm also facing some things that I know you'll just tell me, well, you can use the power of God and think your way out of this, but I'm being heavily censored on Facebook and have been. for like the past.
Well,
6
you
years.
know,
I got
the
message
world.
to go to
Let me say something about that. Let me say something about that, Fire Fairy. The world is having a rebirth, and in the rebirth, and Mayans already predicted this. In the rebirth, we're having a revelation. What is a revelation? We're living the apocalypse. What is the apocalypse? It's a revealing. It's a revealing of what's really going on, so we can see it, and so we can do something about it. So never bemoan the darkness, light a candle.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Okay. You're like coffee.
Coffee first thing in the morning, huh?
Yeah. You know what? I was about to succumb to fear and doubt in this moment. Oh my goodness. And you know, I'm the one that usually that says that when bad things happen, it's because you're supposed to do something about it. But you just reminded me. Yeah, okay, well, what I'm stuck with right now, Reverend Love, is a part of me sees the dragon is to stay here and do something about it and change it out and really think it. I feel like Mexico is the easy way out. So
well, what's wrong with the easy way out? I like easy way out. If the universe give me an easy way out, I'm taking it. If it gives me an easy button, I'm pressing that joker.
Okay.
We got a lot of this from Christianity, that you have to slave for things, or you have to sacrifice a lot, or you have to. The Course is going to be changing that, because the Course is going to tell us the true meaning of sacrifice. It's not all the things. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to drag yourself over cut glass to live in paradise and luxury and loveliness. You don't have to do it. You can just say yes and do it. Yes.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Reverend Love. Thank you so much. Okay, I'm complete. I figured it out. Thank you.
Of course, Fire Fairy. I love you. You know I love you. I have known Fire Fairy for years. Okay, we've been on this beautiful path for a very long time. And it's beautiful that we get to remind each other of the truth. And we get to, and I love how you said, I'm going to be vulnerable here. And I love how you say, I'm aware. I just almost succumb to doubt and to fear and doubt. But no, I'm not going to do that. And I realized that, oh, I got an invitation from Spirit. I got a call to adventure, like I talk about in the book, Why You're Stuck. You got a call to adventure. Yeah, we might not have answered. It's okay. If you didn't answer the call to adventure 29 times before, what about now? What about now? And for all the people who say, I don't know where the money's coming from, I just know it's coming. Mama Necka's love bites. I just love your name. I love saying it. And for all our beautiful beings who are desirous of manifesting wealth, abundance, Jenny, for a move, things like that, here is what to do. But up and start packing your things. Get your suitcase out. I'm going. Start packing. Oh, I'm wearing this in Florida, or I'm wearing this in Miami, or wherever. Okay, start moving. I'm going. You telling everybody, yeah, I'm leaving. When are you leaving? As soon as Spirit takes me. Spirit Airlines, you could say that. And then the universe has to do it. It's law. How many times did we do that? We didn't know how it was going to happen. Get up and bust a move. Start packing your bags. Right? Start from your yes. I'm going. Set out. Start. Book the thing you can book. Okay, I'm going to book an airline ticket because I'm going to the event. Okay, I'm going to get my outfits ready. What's the weather in Miami? I'm going to put the Miami on my app. All the things you would do if you were going, do them. Because your going is already a certainty. If you're not doing that, then it means that you don't really want to go, and it's very convenient to use money as an excuse. Most convenient excuse in the world is old. I'm over it. Who's next? Sweetness. I think you're going to wrap us up today, Sweetness. We can turn off hand raising in the room. Sweetness, you're up next.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So we were talking about resistance, and it was so interesting to go look at myself, go within. Every time I raise my hand or come up on stage to speak, speeding fast. And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't like this feeling, so I don't need to say anything today. And then the other day, I heard, well, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. So when you said that about resistance, I was like, okay, well, let me raise my hand. And the proof of it is, for me, just not even, it doesn't have to be proof, but I can see how it applies even more, like go deeper, because I said myself that every time someone else comes on stage and speaks, it's for me. Every time, everyone who speaks, I get something for me. So of course, when I speak, I'm in the right place. It's for someone, even if I think it's only for me, which I know it's not. So that resistance, it was interesting to look at myself there. Also, earlier, so many yummy things have been said. One of them that jumped out to me was when you were talking about God. What is God? And the Bible verse that popped into my head is like one of the easiest ones, simplest ones, just about everyone knows. It's only 3 words. God is love. So I was wondering, what would happen if I just replaced that word God with love, because God is love. So when I'm feeling or think I'm feeling frustrated or upset, God help me, love, help me. Help me, love. Oh my love. Like, it sounds so much better. It feels so much better. I just wanted to share that. It's just like, it was like a epiphany for me, replacing that, because I associate things with words. So it's like, what word can I put with this? And it was so simple. God is love. And Alina, your class last night, honey, it was amazing. I learned so much. I'm grateful I was there. Also, a win. So I wanted to share a win. I've been making videos every day, playing every day.
I've been seeing your videos come up on my feed. OMG.
Yes. And the first video I posted, before I hit upload, I was shaking. I'm like, I am not about to put myself out here like this. I haven't been playing. I haven't been practicing. I'm going to make so many mistakes. However, I am still posting them every day, and I'm going to keep posting them every day because I have to practice every day. And that's my reminder. Okay, you gotta practice because you gotta make this video. It's not an option. Just do it. And I don't go back and edit them. I believe I'm going to keep that practice of not going back and changing and perfecting it, because it's okay to what I may think is a mistake. It's not really a mistake. I'm learning. I'm fine tuning my skills. This is how I'm mastering my violin playing. So I just wanted to share that. It's been a very eye-opening experience, and God is love.
Plain and simple. End of story. Queen Hadassah, Galactic Signature for the day.
Okay, here we go. What another delicious conversation.
Delicious.
And Rev, thank you for the heads up on resistance. I hope everyone caught it. I hope everyone is putting their lesson to practice and getting past that resistance and get your tail in Miami on 222. We are going to have a blast as we usually do. So today we are in Kim 167, Blue Spectral Hand. I dissolve in order to know. releasing healing. I seal the store of accomplishment. With the spectral tone of liberation, I am guided by my own power double. I dissolve in order to know, releasing healing. I seal the store of accomplishment. With the spectral tone of liberation, I am guided by my own power double. I dissolve in order to know, releasing healing. I seal the store of accomplishment. With the spectral tone of liberation, I am guided by my own power double. Blue spectral hand.
Delicious, delicious. Yes, Harmony, talk to us.
Can we do the oath today? We're supposed to be doing oaths on Monday.
Ooh, girl, it's Money Monday. We got the oath of manifestation. You got the oath of manifestation. Harmony asked about the oath of manifestation. OMG, we used to say it every day on 444. Go ahead, oath of manifestation.
All right. Are we going to do call and response or just read it through?
You can read it through for us the first time, and then we can do call and response. We're going to practice our call and response so we can be aligned and harmonious. You can take us, because sometimes my call and response will be a little chorus-like, so we're going to work on that.
Okay. So the oath of manifestation. This changed my whole world. I accept and receive unexpected good, unexpected money, unexpected love, unexpected kindness, unexpected generosity, unexpected offers, unexpected prosperity coming in unexpected ways from unexpected places in my life and in the life of others. I am constantly guided and boldly empowered to receive the lavish abundance of the universe. I accept the principle that abundance and prosperity have already been given to me. My acceptance makes it real and opens the space for manifestation to rush in. I open wide the doors of my consciousness to receive and to give. It is done now. Through this oath of manifestation, all things are possible. I declare absolutely that I live in a friendly universe that is always providing for me. I feel it powerfully happening now. I open to receive more abundance and to give more abundance than I have ever experienced before. I can afford anything that I desire. In fact, I am so prosperous, I need never worry again. I am grateful for all that I already have, and I am grateful for all that I am ready to give. I keep myself lifted in high consciousness, no matter what the appearances are. God is all there is. I let the God times roll, and so it is.
Woo! Everybody celebrate, and so it is. Ding, 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 ding. And the oath of manifestation is by Reverend Dr. Cheryl Ward, giving appropriate appreciation to the author and channeler of the oath of manifestation. It is Money Monday and it is Valentine's Day. That means you being the love of the universe is showering you with blessings right here, right now. All right, everybody on Clubhouse, send some love to everybody, all my love tubers and our Facebookers. We love you. Imaloa Institute. Imaloa. Love you. Peace.